Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for day 23 in 30 days of yoga. Today we are going to be doing a heart opening and back bends practice, so doing some spinal extension. So as always, really listening to your body in these types of flows, in all flows of course, but especially when we're looking at kind of back bends and things like that. Really kind of noticing how things feel and if it feels right for you, and being mindful if you are working with any kind of things going on with the spine or your back, but we'll have plenty of options throughout to take. So we'll start the class in a comfortable seated position, just grabbing your blocks and any props that you might need for the practice, and we'll bring the hands to our heart center to start. So closing down the eyes or taking a steady gaze. Thinking about connecting to Anahata, which is our heart chakra. It's the energy center in this area that we'll be opening into today. And so Anahata represents, of course, love, our connection to loving ourselves and loving others and having a balance with this. But it's also very connected to our self-worth and our sense of feeling enough, feeling like we are enough. So our self-esteem, how we value ourselves, are we able to give and receive love? Seeing if any of that resonates for you today. And then just noticing the connection between your hands and your heart center, your chest area. Notice how it moves as you breathe. Maybe noticing how this area feels, whether there's any tightness or restrictions. Maybe it feels nice and free and smooth. And it's not about labeling anything as good or bad or right or wrong. We're just being aware. Releasing the hands now and opening the eyes back up. Bring the hands to the knees or the thighs, palms facing down, and inhale, roll the shoulders back. Open across the chest, the heart space. Exhale, drop the chin down towards the chest, draw the belly in, round your spine. Inhale, lift the gaze, shine the heart forwards. Exhale, round. Drop the chin down towards the chest, draw that belly in, tuck the tailbone in. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, rounding. And from here, I want you to start to take it into some circles now. So circular movements, rolling the body around. Really moving from the waist and staying with your breath as you move. Starting to come back in the opposite direction now as well. Moving into the side body, the front body, the back body. Noticing any little kinks, any little aches, or areas of tightness as the observer. Well done, and coming back to center. We're going to move into a kneeling position, but we're going to bring the knees slightly further apart than our normal kneeling position. And then you've got an option to use your block here. So we're going to dance our camel. So you might like to have a block behind to place the hand on. So place your right hand on the block or the mat behind. And we inhale, sweep the left fingertips up and maybe starting to lift the hips, so pressing the hips up and heart is really lifting towards the ceiling. So finding a bit of spinal extension, a bit of a back bend here. Exhale, come back down. Switch it over to the other side. So left hand could be on a block or the mat. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. Press the hips forwards. Lift the heart towards the ceiling. And we come back down. So once more on each side, right hand comes down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, bring the hips back down to the mat. Left hand comes down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, coming back down. Well done. Make your way into all fours now, tabletop position. We're going to bring the right leg out to the right side, so lengthening through that right leg. Either working here if that already feels enough for you, or you're going to exhale, walk the hands forwards, melt the heart down to extended puppy. So getting this lovely opening into that right hip space as we melt down and open into the heart space. Breathing here. Reconnecting with your breath. One more breath here. Inhale, walk the hands back into center. See if you can lift that right leg away from the mat, hover it there for a moment, and bring it back in. Now we come on to the other side, so bring the left leg out to the left side. Option to work here, or you're going to start to walk the hands out in front, find your extended puppy pose. Letting the heart and the forehead drop down towards the mat. Breathing. Well done. Inhale, walk the hands back in. Option to lift and hover that left leg. Breathing here. Well done, bring it back in. So from here, tuck the toes under. Exhale, bring the hips to the sky for our downward facing dog. Hips are lifting away from the ribs. And we're going to take some spinal rolls from here. So on the inhale, we're drawing the belly in, rounding the spine and shifting the shoulders forwards. And then on the exhale, we bend through the legs and press the hips back up to the sky. So inhale, rounding, shifting forwards. Exhale, pressing back up to downward dog. Inhale, rounding, coming forwards. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rounding. Exhale, coming back. Last one, inhale, rounding. Exhale, coming back. Meeting in our downward facing dog. Sweep the right foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up, finding a high lunge. And then we're going to float the hands around, bring the hands to the lower back, squeeze the elbows in towards each other, lift the heart towards the ceiling. Maybe you can follow with your gaze. Breathing here. Well done. Starting to Open out now, finding your warrior two. Flip the right palm up so that it's facing the ceiling. Inhale, lift up and out from the waist. Find a reverse warrior. And from here, I want you to float your right hand down and bring it to your heart. Bring it to the chest. Keep shining the heart towards the ceiling, sending your gaze upwards. Maybe noticing if you can feel yourself breathing here or feel your heartbeat. Notice the connection between your hand and the chest. Well done, and releasing, opening out now into our wide leg position. So Prasarita, toes pointing forwards. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Inhale here, exhale, float forwards. Keeping the spine long. And I want you to try and stay at this halfway point. Breathing here. Keeping the hands at heart center if you can. From here, bring your right hand down either to the mat or a block. And inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the sky, find a twist. See if you can bring both hands back to heart center in the fold, back to Anjali Mudra. Then come to the other side, left hand comes down, reach the right fingertips up, follow with the gaze. Bring the hands back to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Inhale, lift the chest. Coming back up, well done. And we'll float the hands around to frame the front foot, step it back to plank. Work through a chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up, lifting up and out from the waist. And then bringing the hands to the lower back, squeezing the elbows in, lifting the heart towards the ceiling. Maybe we're following with a gaze up to the ceiling. Keep really lifting up and out from the waist, lifting the heart. So we're not sinking into the lower spine here, we're really lifting and lengthening. Now starting to release the hands and open out, find your warrior two. Flip the left palm up so that it's facing the ceiling. Inhale, lift up and out from the waist, find your reverse warrior. And then float this left hand to the heart. Finding that connection here, noticing how the chest feels, how it moves as you're breathing. Well done. Open out, find your Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands are going to come to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Exhale, we fold. So either coming down to this halfway point, or you've got the option to bring the hands all the way down today in your Prasarita. Now, if it's in your practice, this is a big if, just if you want to take it. Option to take your tripod headstand here. So that would be bringing the head down to the mat, bringing the hands down. Maybe you're lifting the legs away. But if not, you're going to stay and take your breaths in your Prasarita Padottanasana. Just taking any leg variations that you want to take here. Having a little play around. And then if you're in your headstand, just bringing the feet back down to the mat. Coming back to your Prasarita Padottanasana. And then everyone bringing your hands back to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Lifting the chest, coming away from the fold, back up to center. And coming up, either staying grounded through the feet, or you can come up on the toes. And I want you to see if you can bring your hands, so one hand over the other at the heart space, at the chest. Of course, releasing the hands and using them at any time if you need to. We're going to lower the hips down towards the mat. So slowly lowering down. With control, well done. And releasing them. Grabbing any blocks or props that you might need and taking it down into a lying position. So feet are roughly hip width, fingertips just reaching and brushing the backs of the heels. So arms are at the side of the body, and really tuck your chin in towards your chest. Draw the pelvis up and in towards the body. And then lift your hips away from the ground. So coming into a bridge position. Option to interlace the hands here and roll the shoulders in towards each other. Lifting the hips up. Opening through the heart space. And opening into the front of the body, but also strengthening the glutes, the legs. Breathing here. Well done. Release the hands from the interlace. Draw the spine. And lastly, the hips back down to the mat. Now you've got a couple of options here. You could either come into another bridge and make it into a restorative bridge and use your block as your heart opener. You have an option to come into wheel if that's in your practice, or any other one of those variations. You can come down onto the forearms, of course. So take what feels right for you. So preparing, we're going to take 5 breaths, and whatever your choice is. So coming up into your wheel or your bridge, and then breathing here, 5 breaths. Well done. And sinking back down to the mat, coming away from whichever option, and window wipe your knees from side to side here. And our final little heart lift to finish. I'm going to come into Matsyendrasana, our fish pose. So here we're lengthening through the legs, and then we're bringing the arms, the hands, underneath the bottom. Palms of the hands are facing down. And again, if this feels too much, feel free to take one of the other options. You can take another bridge if you wish to. So we're going to inhale, press the forearms into the mat, puff up through the chest, and we drop the head back. So we're opening through the heart space, we're opening into the throat as well. Breathing here. Well done, and slowly release, releasing from your fish pose, releasing the arms, and just coming into your reconstructive rest position, so bringing the feet to the outside edges of the mat, knees dropping in. And just tuck your chin down towards your chest. So we're not lifting the head away from the mat, just tucking the chin down here, really lengthening into the back of the neck, the spine. And start to take the arms into a hug, so you can bring the left arm over the right arm, maybe the hands reach the shoulder blades, just hugging in here. And switch the arms over, so now bring the left arm over the right, taking that big hug, closing the eyes if that feels good too. And finally releasing and just gently hugging both knees in towards. So taking any movement that feels good here. And exhaling, seeing if you can draw the forehead in towards the knees, so curling up into an even tighter ball here, opening into the back of the neck, the spine. Closing the eyes if that feels good too. And releasing the head and shoulders back down to the mat. Seeing if you can take a little gentle rock back up to seated, or just making your way back up, however you wish to. Closing down the eyes, bringing the hands back to rest, either in the lap or on the knees or thighs. And we'll close off this practice with a releasing breath. So we'll inhale through the nose for 3 counts and exhale out through the mouth. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhale, release. Opening the eyes back up when you're ready. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me. I am so grateful to every single one of you who does these practices. It really does mean the world to me, and you kind of commenting and feeding back is really, really helpful. So send me any requests for future practices. Let me know how you're getting on, if you've been doing this kind of 30 days of yoga with me. And yeah, do subscribe to this channel. It's completely free. And I can't wait to see you again very soon. Bye bye.